Hello and welcome. We're picking up where we left off last time in Victoria 3 in patch 1.9.5 as the Great Qing, as we continue our attempt to see how high and how fast we get the GDP as Great Qing. In the last one, we've basically guaranteed that we're going to get the Opium Crisis complete in 7 months by defeating the British in their attempt to basically either open our market or apply a treaty port. We managed to prevent both of those. So we won't have to suffer widespread opium addiction for an extra 10 years. Law-wise, we're going to have colonization in 5 weeks. Something I just realized is my grand plan for how to get recognition isn't going to work until I have my declare interest back. Oh, why do we have 2? I thought something changed in the math. Yeah, something changed in the math. Okay, we got 2 right now. Not widespread opium addiction took 1 away. Maybe they changed that. No, it doesn't take it away anymore. Okay, well, we got 2 now. Well, I think it still is taking 1 away. We need 1 more to do exactly what I want to do. At least the near-term effects we can get away and start doing, which is Danube and North America. And then we're going to cycle up until the colonization's done. And then we'll figure out what we need to do to get those embassies. It depends on who has rivaled France. Because the rivals to France will not accept giving us an embassy unless we stop allying France, which we may do. I think we have a guaranteed alliance with them for 5 years, which may have actually passed at this point. Yeah, no longer binding, so we can change the terms of this deal. Okay, there's our interest active. There's colonization. That gives an extra max colonial fares, so now we can actually do stuff. We're going to finish up mandatory service and move into line infantry. Line infantry will allow us to attack the Russians. Did I get my... Oh, I guess they must have removed the effect from the Opium Crisis, because... yeah, they must remove the declared interest effect from the Opium Crisis. You basically have the same thing on the Canton system. So I think they realized they were double dipping there. Which is maybe a little overkill, bringing you down to 1. So we've got our diplomatic attitudes with the Americans here. So let's see, Americans, will you give me... Why is it not showing up? Offer embassy... Oh, I gotta wait for the journal entry has to show up first. Give it a moment. And I suppose I can speed the speed up so we can get it going there. So there's our earning recognition. If we have opinion 50 with any great power, we currently have that with France, and get this progress bar to 200, we will gain recognition. By default, you have 3 of the things that reduce it. We have low literacy, we have low GDP per capita, and we have low standard of living. In practice, fixing those things are going to take way too long. So we're not going to get recognition by fixing those things. Instead, we're going to get recognition by seeking recognition, basically. Either by enforcing it via war or via treaty. So we're going to start off with the treaty option. So here in this example for America, we have minus 56 reasons for them to just give it to us. Let's see if we can do it by giving them money. So we can get up to 56 reasons with money and owe them obligation to get them up to agree, send their proposal. Obviously we'll want one from the French. similar sort of thing. So we're going to give them money transfer. Looks like they're only going to give us 64 for the money transfer. That works. Okay. If I don't give them an obligation, it's 75% chance. We can't give them an obligation because we've already given it to them. Could give them investment rights, but we'll save the investment rights for if we need to up the deal. We'll take the swing at 75. Okay, so it looks like they're gonna give me... Actually, who's rivaled France? Okay, so in this game, Austria and Prussia have not yet rivaled France. In my test game, both of them had. So in my test game, I had to lose the alliance with France to make it work. Are they rivals to each other? No. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll do Prussia, Austria. We'll leave the Ottoman Empire out of it. Oh, because the Ottoman Empire rivals America and Austria, so yeah, the Ottoman Empire is the one that's getting left out in the cold. Once again, we're going to start with the money transfer. Do it with money. We want to do it with money. 58 is the best we can do. Money. Not quite enough. We can get them up to 55% chance with just money and a obligation. Give them trade privileges. How much that's going to help? That brings them up to 90%. And if we get trade privileges back for them, which they also want, that brings them to 30. So we'll do that. So in that proposal. And then the Austrians. Once again, we want an embassy. We're going to start with money. 56 is the best they're going to give us. We can give them an obligation to bring them up to 92. Give them trade privileges. That should work. Okay, let's send that proposal. And we'll see if all of those will take effect. I think the French one was the only one that wasn't guaranteed in theory to take effect. It's the Contingent. Great Qing and Prussia applied. Pretty Lafang was the Americans. French one didn't work. Austria one worked. Okay. Okay, so we'll have to attempt to renegotiate one with the French. Right now that basically means we're not actually losing any recognition. Come over here, you'll see we got 3 from offer embassy. So we're actually down to neutral. We need a little bit better than that to succeed. I think +1 should be enough. So we just need to get with more person. The obvious target is France. Oh, let's, I need to let a little bit of time pass. And they will take a money transfer, and apparently they actually want to give us military assistance. Okay. That was a positive. That's in fact enough of a positive that they're willing to give me what I want. Sure. I suppose that kind of makes sense because we have a defensive pact. So maybe they want to empower the person they have a defensive pact with, so if I come to help them, they have better help. And there we go, we're +1. Oh, this is monthly change. So monthly change, that's going to be terribly slow. We're going to want to move this a little bit quicker. But at least we're toggling up. It says average monthly. I think that might actually be weekly, but we'll see. And then line infantry. So in 2 years, we'll have the line infantry, and we can begin invading Russia from the Russian eastern seaboard. And this will clear in 5 months. Yeah. Guns are cheap. Trying to figure out what I want to build while we're waiting. Probably paper. Yeah, probably paper. We are going to need quite a bit of guns. Let's be fair. Where is all my gun production right now? I have absolutely no gun. No, I have Beijing. There's 4 in Beijing. Let's go ahead and actually subsidize that for the moment, so we can get that going. I think we worked out before we need about 40. And right now, from a infrastructure standpoint, it probably does make sense to build it on the coastline. What is Beijing's infrastructure looking like right now? Positive. Granted, a lot of that positive is coming from road maintenance, I suppose. Where's the road maintenance? I think that plus 20 is the road maintenance. No, that's the farmer's market. Oh, that's the road maintenance. No. Okay, road maintenance is adding 20. Yeah, a lot of that's coming from the road maintenance, but we got a little bit of space in there. Can you take up 2 each? So I actually probably have enough that we can go ahead and say 6 there. And we need some port down there. Some maintenance down there. Or build up some infrastructure down there. And then we'll probably slap a couple more in there. Then slap blank. So no, we're gonna slap 4 there. And then we're gonna come down and say build 10 of you. And then we'll see where we are when that's done. Because the gun production is going to be a little bit unprofitable until we have the line infantry to, you know, do something with it. Oh, so that does appear to be monthly. I was assuming it was weekly. I was looking at it earlier. So this will be a bit slow. We're not going to primarily learn it through the monthly tick here. But rather that was so that we got some positive, so that we can take a slightly weaker war with the Russians. There's the end of the addiction. We're going to do sovereignty is absolute. Which one of the things we can play with that is put some more taxes down. Yeah, it probably makes sense to put a clothing tax down. I'm not necessarily doing... just have him sit down. That works. Anti-country lobby against Russia. That works out for us. Because we are planning on attacking Russia. We have cordial relations, so we should preemptively start to lower opinion with them. We don't need it to be too low, but we need it to be negative. Or we need it to not be cordial, specifically. When line infantry applies. A little bit low on bureaucracy. Let's go ahead and queue up a couple bureaucracy places. We don't need very many. I'm not going to bother to move the roads for it. So this is one of the nice things, I suppose, on Gold Rush, is they've added these two new choices at the bottom, which is always pick this option. In this case, we're going to do always spread the word, because when it comes to our Gold Rushes, we do want people to move to them out of the overpopulated Chinese heartland, out of the gold fields. Is that not actually enough to get... No, that was enough. I was about to say, was that not enough to get positive bureaucracy? And it was. Has the French gotten around to actually building any... trade centers? No. Theory they can, and we'd like them to, actually, but they haven't yet. So we get line infantry in 13 weeks is what it's estimating right now. That's probably right. Oh, we're going a little bit faster because we're getting the tech spread applying to it as well. Oh, one thing we might do is diplomacy wise. France. How are we going to negotiate this treaty? How willing are you to swap over to an alliance? They're not. Fair enough. Yeah, they're not at the moment. If we had an obligation to give away, we might be able to make it swing that far, but at the moment not. Part of that's also the balance of power, so we'll see where they are after we've modernized the army. Okay, I'm gonna basically got the gold reserve about as high as I wanted to go. We were about to have the expenses go up quite a bit, so let's modernize the army. Upgrade all. We're actually going to send the cavalry to become dragoons in the non-expeditionary troops. And the expeditionary one will upgrade, like so. And then over here, we're going to go atmospheric engines. I think my plan is to kind of do what we did last time. I don't know if there's still the bug we ran into last time on atmospheric engines, but what we're going to do is we're going to do mechanical tools, atmospheric engines, railways. But while we're waiting for the lathe to complete, mostly by spreading, we're going to research about 3/4 of atmospheric engines is the plan. Okay, we should be seeing the gun cost go through the roof as demand rises. Yeah. Very vertical. Very vertical. And we already worked, we need like 40 factories. So let's pick a couple places to put ports. where we're going to build our factories. So we worked out we're going to probably do High Bay for industry because we've already got some iron there. So that makes a decent place to put some. So we'll do 4 ports, which will support 10 gun factories. And where is our iron, specifically? Oh, we also got some in eastern Gudong, or Guangdong. So we'll do there as well. We'll do 4 ports and 10 gun factories. Oh, I needed a little bit more authority to move the things around. That'll be fine. Okay, so it still looks like we have the glitch that we ran into the other time where you can't upgrade the conscripts. So the solution to that was just disband all the conscripts and then reform them as line infantry. Oh, I misclicked somewhere. We got a weird number. Oh, there's an easy way to work that. Here we go. There's the 550 we need for that army. And then this one gets everything else. Which honestly might be a little bit higher than it was before. But it doesn't make a big difference. And yeah, that'll now, when the conscripts get called up, they'll be line infantry. Okay. And once all the units are done modernizing, we shall start the war. Let's see, how has that affected the willingness? How to do the other treaty? Got to modify the treaty because it's basically modifying the defensive pact to an alliance. Think of it at 47. Still minus 12, so they're not really willing to come around to it yet. We'll get a little bit more as the troops improve. But yeah, it looks like without doing some fancy stuff, we're not going to be able to swing it. Granted, the fancy stuff it might be something like giving them investment rates. So there's definitely some slop there. So yeah, let's wait for our troops to finish modernizing. Nope, that one actually looks like it is modernized. And you're modernized, okay. We'll give a little bit for the small arm production actually catch up with the modernization of the army, because the conscripts are going to need guns as well, so we don't want to get too carried away. What's the opinion of the armed forces? Okay, let's go ahead and raise their wages so we can get new model army kicking in. Newly created army kicked in. There we go. Yeah, currently we're importing some guns. That's why it's maybe not the most Great Swing going on right now, because as we are rising, I think the gun import slowing down is basically what's happening. Can I subsidize? I think I subsidize the gun production, right? Oh, of course. It doesn't subsidize everything. That makes sense. Subsidize everything, please. I'll get guns going up a little bit faster. Okay, I think we're in a good place to start the war. We'll take one last look at potentially getting the French involved. Wait, wrong one. Need to modify the treaty, not start a new one. Renegotiate the treaty, drop the defense pact, gain the alliance. We can up the amount of money we're giving you. Get up to 61 is what it's saying. Are there any goods you want to give us? Yes, you will happily give us some clippers. Won't be opposed to that. You'll happily give us some sugar. I wouldn't be opposed to that. Do you want any of our goods? No. So it'd be investment rights at this point. Not sure I actually want to give them investment rights. So we'll just leave them on the defensive pact. And we'll go it alone. Because I'm pretty sure we can do this alone. What I'm about to do. We're not drafting a treaty, we're starting a war. Interactions, demands, targeting states. And our first demand is going to be... Oh, of course it doesn't. I think it's Otosk. This place. Yeah. Interesting. So one thing we may need to be a little bit concerned about is it does look like our embassy partners are going to go join the opposition. If they do that, they might break the embassy. So then we'd have to renegotiate it after the war. But let's start the war. Yeah, everyone is opposed to us. And the Austrians and Prussians could potentially get involved. We're going to be sitting on the defense here. Most of the targets that we're going to take can be taken with the Expeditionary Army, doing naval landings. So we're not really going to be going out of our way to attack the front line. We're going to let them attack us and not us attack them. There's Prussia siding in. And Austria sides in. Now, they haven't broken their treaties yet. Which, if they don't do that, that works totally for us. We can just wait them out, because we're not going to put any war goals on them. So we're going Otosk. We're going Kadmachak. So I probably pronounced Kadmachak wrong. Kamchaka. We're going to go Gota. We're going to make those primaries. And I think that might be all we're going to go for, is just those three. That should give us a decent amount of recognition. To accelerate the earning recognition a bit. And everything else would be a little bit of a gamble to push. because they'll be in a position to reinforce it. I suppose the alternative, well, what we could do is we come around and, say, claim Archangel, which would be hard to defend, but I know I have experience landing it, if that makes sense. Granted, as I'm immediately reminding myself, I don't have an interest over here, so we can't go and claim that. Okay, so we'll just do those three, keep it simple. The only thing we could maybe add, if we wanted a little more aggressive expansion, is money. I can give some money. $18.8 money for, like, 0 money. Yeah. No, we don't want that much infamy. Okay, we're not declaring offensively for people for money. That's what we're doing. Oh, there goes the Austrians breaking it and the Prussians breaking it. Okay. So we're now losing recognition. What I might do while we're out at war is get it from the Ottomans. So we are at least not losing any while we're at this war. So money transfer. They'll go up to 57. And we can owe them obligation. Here we go. And at least then, but the yearning recognition, we're paused at 19%. We'll get a big bunch from winning this war against Russia, but we're paused at the spot where we are. And Russia hates us enough, so we're good. Now we're just waiting for the war to start. And as we mobilize, we use more guns, so we need to keep making more guns. We will take a slight detour from gun production to make some government admin. While we're waiting for the war, gotta remember to set things to privatize. Things that aren't privatized, the government owns, are costing us bureaucracy. It's not a lot of bureaucracy. Right now it's 89, right? But we don't need to own it. We don't need to pay the bureaucracy for that. So, because we haven't put anything on Austria or Prussia, they'll leave the war pretty much as soon as their war exhaustion drops below 0. So the big armies, their purpose is to doggedly hold the line. And they'll probably do that against them. In fact, I don't even expect the Prussians and the Austrians to, you know, come over to help on the one border. In the meantime, we are going to have the Navy take the expeditionary force around to do some naval landings. So the Russians won't stop you from doing a naval landing on their eastern seaboard, so you just take chunks of the seaboard. And if you grab it right next to your front line like this, then your front line immediately expands to control it. And then you can just rinse and repeat. Or at least the first two. When we take this one, this province, this state, is not connected to the rest of Russia, except via this province, so we'll immediately gain a short front line here. And the 30 guys should be able to take that small bit. Where the Russians been on that front line, and then we can basically go to static defenses. Suppose we're doing this. Oh no, we're not doing society. If we're doing society, we probably want to get up to 5 approval with the literati, but we can hold off on that. I thought the Austrians were in this war. What happened? There's the Austrians. I was like, what, don't see them on the list. There they are on the list. So basically, we're gonna wait for those guys to leave the war. Once those guys leave the war, we might actually just attack. That'll probably be where we are at that point. And we are being navally blockaded. That's the one problem, not building up the navy before we start this war. So our economy will have a bad day until we win. Oh, well, our merchant marines will have a bad day until we win. There we go. So we control all 3 of our objectives. That applies a pretty large penalty to them, and at this point, we just don't have to attack. We just have to defend. So we're going to leave our expeditionary force on garrison duty in case we want to do any expeditions, whereas the rest of the guys will be holding the border. Oh, we have... So this is something we're going to have to start working on, is we need to start making hardwood and iron, because we obviously can't import those. Iron's easy. We got to build it. Simple, right? And put it in Shaanxi. We'll have infrastructure problems in Shaanxi in a bit. We'll put that to the priority. But that's actually what we're going for with the railroads, is to build stuff in the interior. We'll probably build mainly ports on the coastline, because we want merchant marine and we want convoy capacity. But interior, we definitely need railroads. And I'm having mental interruption. Ah, yes. I want to come over to our lumber industry. Get some hardwood going. Because we heard the guns are taking hardwood. That's what the hardwood upkeep was coming from. Good vintage. Take the throughput. We do have some famine, which isn't surprising. I guess it's that type of famine. Oh, and Guyana. Okay, that makes sense. We're being blockaded, so Guyana has no access to the market. That's fair. I've completely forgotten about Guyana, other than the fact that we needed it for the interest in the area with France. Ecuador... What is the Columbia District? Advancements in medicine. We can either get progress towards medical degrees, or we can get some French and faction opinion. Where are we on the medical degrees? I'm tempted to do the medical degree one. Yeah, we have nothing in the medical degree, so it won't be wasted if we go with that one. I think we can stomach the cost. Okay, this is about where I wanted atmospheric engine to go to, so we're going to swap with lathe. If we look in atmospheric engine, right now we're paying... If you were to complete it right now, we'd be paying an extra cost due to being 1 tech missing from Era 1. So it really costs 10,000 if we don't finish researching it before we... Or if we finish researching lathe before we complete it. So we're close enough that I think that's where we want it to be. Then we want to do lathe, into mechanical tools, into atmospheric engines, into railways. That's the plan. One of our generals has died. Ooh, armed forces, great. Authoritarian armed force guy. Get promoted. Swap to the defense. Yeah, and we're basically waiting for the majors to leave. The majors aren't coming over to Siberia because arguably we have the Siberian front full. Right, there isn't enough space for people to come help the Russians, so no one's coming to help the Russians. Looks like we'll probably want some coal production. Let's go ahead and build some coal then. Again, that's also going to be Shaanxi. Shaanxi is going to sort of be our industrial capital. So things like coal and iron we're going to develop there first. There's mass communication, more authority. That might be enough that we could get... Oh, and I haven't been walking... Okay, let's look at this. Where are we? Eastern Guidong. Okay, so we should move road maintenance to Eastern Guidong. Yeah, but we're building buildings there, so we're moving one from Hebei, then Shaanxi. There we go. Shaanxi, Eastern Guidong. Said we were... Oh, I see. The private sector is building stuff in Western Guidong. That's fair. Okay, so that gets us the maximum construction efficiency everywhere with those three, so that's fine. We'll probably leave the one in Shaanxi because we actually need it for infrastructure there. We're not actually putting it there for construction efficiency, rather for the infrastructure itself. Okay, we might actually win this before the other majors leave. We'll see. You want us to embargo Russia? Sure. Because Russia's going to drop below 0 soon. I'm not sure how far below 0 we'll need to push them for this. Not very far. Granted, I'm not sure how far we need to push the Friends either. More than the Russians, actually. Yeah, so we'll probably just negotiate a peace with all of them at the same time. There's the lathe. So that means we can immediately apply dyes and the lathes. How much lead do we have? We don't have much lead. Because I think I've screwed up the trade route with... Did we lose the Shogunate one? No, we still have the Shogunate. We're granted the Shogunates are not trading it to us at this point. Oh, because they don't have the lead to sell it to us, to send to us anymore. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, we're not going to enact that. Not going to enact the glass one yet. We really don't need the glass, and we don't have the lead, so that's fine. Gives you mechanical tools next. Where have I put my tool workshops? Got a couple in Shaanxi. We'll put one more in Shaanxi, because it looks like we probably need a little bit more. Yeah, we can use a little bit more. And we can also use making the steel for the steel tools. Come on. Which is going to be 20 each. So how many tool workshops do I have? Looks like the market has a total of 8. About 20 each. So we can probably get away with the 2 steel workshops. Go ahead and queue them up, and we will actually subsidize the steel industry. Because it's going to be a little bit of a chicken and egg problem of it may be done before we have the technology to use it, sort of thing. And subsidizing worst case scenario will just sort of push it out into the world market. There's the deal. We've applied it. That got us a bunch of recognition, so that sped it up quite a bit. It would be probably a little bit farther along if we tried to take a little bit more. Would have been more risk in trying to take more, which is why we didn't go for that. And I suppose we can turn around and now try to get embassy treaties again with the guys that just broke it. Yeah. I thought we could go after Spain. Spain wouldn't necessarily be the easiest. Well, Spain would make sense and be reasonably easy if we could drag the French into it. How do the French look at going over to Alliance State with us? Minus 52 still. I still don't think we can get that high enough. Maybe with investment rights, but yeah, pretty much. No. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's see if we can get those embassies back with these guys. Why? Because they're antagonistic. Okay. You antagonistic? No. So we could work our way to you quicker. Money transfer. Do it just the money transfer. 92% chance, we'll propose that. Here. Okay, so we're back to going up monthly. That is quite a while. That's about 98 months. Don't think we want to wait 98 months. Yeah, we'll probably try to improve relations with Prussians. And honestly, now that we've got what we want off of the Russians, we can try and improve relations with the Russians as well. Okay, we just upgraded our guys to vassals. I wonder, one thing I haven't been thinking about with Joseon here, can we get you to swap over to a non-isolationist idea? So obviously no one in their government supports that right now. We would like to get them off of isolation if we could. Can we draft a treaty with them? Oh, gone the wrong way around. Need to do law changes on this side. I guess it's not showing up because they're a subject? Yeah, it needs to not be subject. Okay, so I need to go find this option. We swap over to mercantilism. 94% debate. Free trade. 35. I actually want the debate to be higher than the stall, so that's the one I want to go with. We'll propose that one. We'll see if they can do that. If they do that, they'll open up a bunch of trade for us, is the plan. Has refused our demand to enact mercantilism. Okay. Interesting. He just gave us an event for that. Okay. That was it. What do we want to work on instead? construction-wise? We've got enough guns for the moment, at least until we mobilize again. Oh, I suppose I now have... Not that I got those states. We've got another interest we can play somewhere. Could potentially try to do something on Iberia, on the Spanish. To get another infusion of recognition here. Sure. Well, let's put something on Iberia. We'll look to see what we can get. Maybe we can sway the French in with something. And the Russians are now down to neutral. They're domineering, so they're probably not willing to come around on that embassy choice. Yeah, minus 1,000. That's probably the domineering playing in a role. Yeah. I suppose I could give them their land back. I don't think... I don't think that's enough. Yeah, no, because of the domineering, we're not going to be able to negotiate something productive. Okay. Okay, then construction-wise... Oh, we're importing a lot of our clippers, so let's solve that by making clippers. Three things of clippers. And then we made coal, and then people just wanted more coal. So presumably we should just make more coal. Sounds about right. And then we're not in a rush for the steel, so we'll go and kick those to the bottom of the tier. We want those to sort of come online with mechanical tools, which are a year and a half out. We got a rebellion in La Feng. We'll go ahead and happily crush that for La Feng. Okay, one thing I think it is time to do. So China does start off with unincorporated territory. In fact, large portions of the north unincorporated. What we're going to do is we're going to start incorporating everything. Get the tax revenue from up here. That's going to take our bureaucracy negative, but then we can just invest more in the bureaucracy. So we need about 10 more bureaucratic centers to support that. Put that in Southern Anhui. Once again, we'll delay the steel mills because they're a little early. We want to build them, but we don't need them yet. And the rebellion's dealt with. Okay. Okay, so we should be in the position where we can do something against these guys. So they're cooperative. I don't think we can get... I think it's only great powers we can get the embassies off of. Yeah, only the great powers we can get the embassies off of. Oh, these guys are back down to cautious. We can get another embassy off of these guys. Oh, it might be a little close. 63. You might have to give these guys investment rights. 55% chance. Do you want any goods? No. They want to give me any goods. They do actually want to give me some goods. They want to send me guns. I'm on board with them sending me guns. And wine. Brings up a 90% chance. We'll see if that works. It did. Okay. So that has sped it up. It's now 46 months. So 4 years. We don't want to wait around 4 years. We want to do it a little bit faster. I think great powers are actually missing at this point. So top 7, we got the Ottomans, got the United States, got Prussia, Austria. Russia's domineering, so we can't do Russia. We got France. I assume Great Britain is a no. They're belligerent, yeah. So they're definitely a no. Offer embassy minus 200. Are we actually have a better chance of getting it off of the Russians? Yeah, we could potentially start something over here. Maybe ban slavery? Well, that's a lot of infantry for ban slavery. Look at it. Can we sway the French in? No. There's a 37% chance to just back down and give it to us. Yeah, the Canary Islands. We could say go after the Canary Islands. Again, the French probably wouldn't come to help us. But on the other hand, I don't think there's anyone coming to help the Spanish. So then the question comes down to, do we defeat the Spanish in a landing? I think the answer is no. At least not without military access. So this is something we could go look the French for. How much do you not like military access? 15% chance we could get military access from them. Maybe. And to be fair, we could turn that around and trade that back for military access to them. And maybe even make them pay us for the privilege. No. Okay, never mind. We can't make them pay us for the privilege. That might work. Because really it just comes down to, can we get our large army to engage the tiny French, or the tiny Spanish one? You know, looking at the time, I think I'm going to go ahead and put a part break in here. If you're watching on YouTube, I think that what we're going to try in the next part is we are going to try to get military access to the French so we can get a landing spot so we can actually fight the Spanish. And then try fighting the Spanish. See how that goes. I'll do a save between parts, just in case we decide that was a really bad idea and we should just go back to where we were. Because we're on track again to get recognition in 46 months. We don't want to wait 46 months. We really want to have recognition now, so that we can go get up to stuff in Central Asia and Southeast Asia. But that's kind of been gated behind that we have increased infantry costs until we get recognition, which we're getting slowly. All right. Oh, we have a lobby demand against Russia. Before we put the part break in, how hard is it going to be to embargo Russia? Just a click. Are above poor. They need to be below poor. I think that's where, yeah, it needs to be below poor. Okay, so turn around. Damage their relations. We'll see if we can do that lobby demand while we're at it. But yeah, I hope you've been enjoying. If you're watching on YouTube, we'll have another part up for you tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, I hope you're enjoying. We're going to take a short break where I go make a new cup of tea. Because the half a cup I have in front of me is about to disappear. And then we'll attempt to do the attack on Spain. Which, if everything goes well with attacking Spain, I'm hoping that we can get like another 50 progress, save us another 25 months or something. 2 years would be worth it. So with that, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part. And bye for now.